Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at AmericanExpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
You are listening to the Smuggler's Galaxy podcast, my favorite podcast to listen to on long flights across the galaxy.
This is the way.
We're wanted men.
Welcome to episode 2. Oh, what happened to my light? My light just died. I don't know what happened. 229 on the Smuggler's Galaxy podcast, your favorite podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. My ring light just died on me, so maybe it unplugged or something crazy. I'll check it out in a minute. Should I sing bingo? Because it's bingo day, Jason. We're doing our bingo card today.
Go ahead.
There was a farmer who had a
Okay,
dog,
that's enough.
and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, I-N-G-O, I-N-G-O, and Bingo was his name. Oh, hopefully Zoom picked up my claps, but
It didn't.
okay, doggone it.
Can we do Grogu instead of bingo? G-R-O-U. No, we can't.
No, to me, not enough letters.
Grogu. No, there is G-R-O-G-U. G-R-O-G-U.
There we go. We'll do that.
But
I'm gonna look at my light real quick. Give me 1 second. How's your week going?
the week was fine. I didn't pick anything up this week, but I saw somebody post this online, Justin Quince, who I don't think I've met yet, but he posted online in this new scavenger group where they trade and they show off their patches and swag, things that they picked up from Celebration. One of those portfolios, it's like a poster portfolio. So I picked up one of those this week and I started gluing all my patches in there.
Cool.
So now I can actually enjoy the patches, because before they were just in a tote under the ground, or not. They're at the bottom of the tote where I can't get it, basically underground, because I can't see them.
Right. So it's like a portfolio thing. Do you actually like glue the patches on there?
Yeah, I just used a dab of hot glue, not like too much. It was just enough to keep them on the page and they wouldn't slide off. But
so it's hot glue, so they just come right off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started with the intent of putting all my patches in there, but this is pretty much an Anaheim 2022 patch collection book. Who knows? There's still space in the end, so I might be able to add more stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I need to do something like that, because like I've got plastic totes that I can see through, that I can at least look at my swag if I wanted to. And then all my swag, my Roro Hood swag, is kind of sitting on a shelf. I don't have them. They're in the containers. They're not sitting out so people can see them. But if people wanted to look at them, all they have to do is pop the container open and take a look at them. But yeah, that's a great idea, Jason.
Yeah. Well, it's not my idea. I stole it from Justin online, Justin Quince.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, my ring light is totally dead, so I look like crap in this week's video. So hi everybody on the YouTubes.
Don't look, turn away. Marion, close your
anyway,
eyes.
Man.
Marion, close your eyes.
Yeah, dude, I did not run away. I didn't get anything either. I think I'm kind of work on getting a war chest or something for Toylanta, because that's about a month away, and I'd like to have a couple $100 for that. Now I won't find anything, but you never know. Toylanta looks like it's going to be amazing this year. So I'm kind of doing that right now. I may go through my collection one more time and see if there's anything I'm willing to sell to make a few more dollars to prep for Toylanta. But yeah, that's it. I did my grandkids came over on Monday with it being the holiday. My wife had the day off and my daughter had something to do, so they watched the grandkids for a couple of hours. And I took them downstairs and I'm like, "Hey, they always love going downstairs." Well, they saw the ghost. And of course, like 8, 9 year old was, "I want to play with it." So I was like, I reluctantly brought it upstairs and let him play with it. So my 7 year old granddaughter is playing with it. And I sent you a picture and I'm like, it's a toy, right? And you're just like, yeah, it's a toy. Let him play with it. Let him enjoy it. And I had no problem with it. They treated it right and respected it. But as she's playing with it, I realized that it's just a dollhouse.
Yep.
It's not, it's
I
too
mean,
big to fly around. It is legitimately, you put it on a table, open it up, and it's a freaking dollhouse. It's
well,
a
yeah,
beautiful dollhouse, but it's a freaking dollhouse.
that's the debate I was making earlier. How big is too big for a toy?
Right.
This is not a toy. This is not a ship that you can pick up and zoom around the room. There's no zoomability factor with the Ghost. It's a playset.
Yeah, it is a playset. And I know my grandson, my 9 year old grandson, tried picking it up, and he's like, "It's too heavy." I'm like, "Yeah, it's too heavy." Yeah, it's basically a $500 dollhouse.
Speaking of the Ghost, there's tons of people who don't have theirs yet.
Dude, I would be pissed. I was pissed enough that I waited a week longer to get my ghost. I would be livid if we're midway through January and not had my ghost yet.
I mean, we're closer to the end of January here.
Right. Yeah, it's the 25th. So yeah, 25th Saturday when we're recording this. So yeah, I would
All the
be livid.
planets are aligned in space right now.
Dude, we were watching the planets just a minute ago when this I was having a cigar and as I was finishing it up and we were trying to coordinate recording. We went and saw a couple of planets. They do look like big stars, but you were able to see the planets. My wife has some kind of app on her phone that you can point it at the sky and see where the planets are. And then she got too cold and had to go back to work. So that was we saw like
Yeah.
3 or 4 planets, 3 planets, I think.
But Yakface called out Hasbro this week because they had a live stream and they started right away with this like, "Hey, here's the Ghost. Everyone should have theirs," or something like that. And the commentary that Yakface made was that no, it's a problem. People don't have theirs yet, and it's Hasbro's fault, but it's not their fault because once they deliver it to the shipper,
Mhm.
FedEx, it's FedEx's thing. So
Yeah, it's still, but I understand that they could always be like, yeah, it's FedEx's fault, but what they got to take some of the blame because I mean I know there's delays and stuff, and you never know. I mean, yes, we've had snow twice here in 2 weeks in Georgia, so I mean, that messed up some stuff, and I know it's a lot of weather delays right now, but HasLab has to take some of the blame for that, just because I don't know if they waited too long to ship it or it just took too long to get it or, whose problem is it? Is it HasLabs or is it FedEx? And it's going to be one of those where I think everybody's going to be pointing the finger at each other until everybody gets their HasLabs. I know
yeah,
Mr. Steve posted on Instagram to reach out to, hey, reach out to these people if you're having issues with getting your ghost.
yeah, I wasn't too clear if it was Steve who posted that after or before Jason's from Yakface's post. Was it in reaction to or was it proactive?
Right. I don't know. Steve is pretty proactive and reactive. So he's been good for the brand. I'm just waiting for his. I'm sure at the end of this year, getting towards the end of this year, early next year, we'll start seeing his influence just because it takes so long. But yeah, and
Still,
it's him. Go ahead.
still too early
Yeah.
for that.
But I also Yak Face calls him out pretty good, and I think it's like Blue Harvest Collector on Instagram. Don't quote me 100% on that, but it's something like Blue Harvest because I did ask Rich. I'm like, you're not this guy because his is Blue Milk, and he's like, no, that's not me. And he calls out HasLab pretty hardcore too.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yes, if you don't have your Ghost, I'm sorry. It is a beautiful ship, a beautiful dollhouse, and I would be pissed if I was you.
But as I had mentioned, Hasbro did a live stream this week, which is news.
Yeah.
They Chris was saying these are prototypes for the Cantina figures, but then Emily was like, these are production versions of the figures for the Cantina. And I don't know who to believe. Because the guy right before Emily just said 3 seconds ago it was prototypes.
Well, and it could be both. It could be, they number one, they don't know what's going on because I know, just by hosting this podcast, because I'll listen to you and you'll say something. Well, hold on, let me back it up a little bit. I always couldn't remember, you listen to a radio show and somebody just said something and somebody's like, wait a minute, or we'll ask the question about something that just said, and you miss stuff when you're hosting stuff because you're not paying attention 100%.
Wait,
So, I mean,
what? What would you say?
yeah, exactly.
I
I'll
wasn't paying
have
attention.
Facebook, huh?
I wasn't paying attention.
Exactly. I have Facebook up and I'll find something and I'll look at it and then you say something and I'm just not I miss what you said.
Sounds like
So
you're
I
really
mean,
committed to this show.
yes, all the 150, 200 listeners we have. Hi. Anyway, so I could understand how they would get messed up. I mean, also Emily's the redhead, right?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, when we met her at Celebration and you were just like re-release VC66, she was like, "What?" So, I mean, I could see that just getting confused, but they should know their stuff.
Good.
Yeah. Anywho.
But maybe it's like a engineering pilot, so they're like the first that come off in quality control. I don't know. But that would be awfully quick for action figures to be coming off the production line already.
Yeah, because they just announced them a couple of months ago, right?
Yeah. But they did announce a couple new figures. Balin's skull is coming to the vintage collection. I would imagine that's just a shrink down version of the Black Series figure. Shinhati's coming.
Hmm.
The Mandalorian Super Commando from Ahsoka, and that's the Darth Maul version. And they said it's a whole new sculpt. So I don't know if it's a whole new sculpt from the previous version they released, or if they're using the new Mando sculpt for this thing.
Did they
Who-
already released that in TVC, right?
Yeah, but this is a new body.
Okay.
And then the 501st Trooper from Obi-Wan. So it appears in a blink and you miss it thing. But oh, I forgot to start this whole section as a clone, a Mando, and a battle droid walk into a bar.
Oh, yes.
Because that's basically what we got with this more clones, more Mandos, more droids, battle
Yeah.
droids.
I don't understand. It baffles me why they do that. I guess it's just, hey, we got to keep stuff going, and here we go.
But yeah, blink and you miss it. 501st Trooper and Obi-Wan, and now he's getting his own card. It's a way to re-release the 501st without that blue and white stormtrooper without or clone trooper without having to give some newness to it with a new card
Right.
back.
And I mean, I could also, because I know like back in the day, they would just get production pictures. They wanted, you were just like, here's a bunch of pictures with no context. And then they would pick the figures from that. So I mean, I don't know if that's what they're doing. And, they pick it and they don't know it's only going to be in there for a minute. And they decide to make the character and then realize that, oh, it's only on screen for 30 seconds.
And
But
then
it's been 2 years, right? Since Obi-Wan?
22. So
Yeah.
2.5.
2.5. Yes, I remember watching it with you sleeping in the bed next to me at Celebration at 4 a.m. because I couldn't
Did it
sleep.
pick up my snores? Or does it cancel my snores?
It canceled. I had the earphones in, so I couldn't hear
Oh,
it. So yeah, wow. Oh, it did. It did. I did hear that on Zoom. Yes.
good. And then for the Black Series, Anakin from the Clone Wars / Ahsoka. So they're saying it's the Ahsoka version. New face print. I don't know if it's a new head, but it's a new face print, new color to the body. It's more accurate to the show. And then another Captain Rex, this time from Ahsoka. So it'll be cleaner, but if there's an opportunity to re-release a clone or a Mando, they're going to do it.
Right. Well, they just proved it. So yeah, like all we got to do is change the paint scheme.
Yeah. And then a B1 Battle Droid Trooper built set for the Vintage Collection. So you'll get 4 battle droids.
Now, that seems like one less than normal, right?
No, it's usually been four figures,
Okay.
and just recently, I noticed it with this one, but I guess they did it with a previous one, the Night Troopers. They used to have several characters on the box, those white
Okay.
boxes.
Yeah.
There'd be like eight characters, eight or nine characters. So if it's let's just use pilots. If it's the Rebel pilots, there's only four in the box, but on the front of the box it shows like eight or nine, and some of them are like aliens that are not included in the set.
Okay. So that's what's throwing me off.
So it's a little, so now it's just representative of what's in the set. So instead of that, there's just four figures now or four characters on the front of the box. So you know what you're getting inside.
Gotcha. Well, I wonder if they had complaints about that.
I don't know, but at least now it's honest.
Right.
It's not
I,
something like it's something for the collectors. It's not something you're going to go to Target and find, and then someone's going to pick it up thinking it's eight figures.
mm,
Because it's online only, the audience should already know what's in it.
right. Okay. So that's what's throwing me off is on the card on the box it's four figures versus the eight. So okay, that makes sense
Yeah.
then.
Should I move to? I've got some more toy news, but I also have
Yeah.
movie news. Which one?
Let's finish. Flip a coin. We're on toy news. So let's finish the toy
Okay.
news and then we'll go to
All
movie.
right. So there's some controversy right now about the Micro Galaxy Squadron.
Oh,
I got this.
more.
I got this from Reddit. Tyler65 on the slash Micro Galaxy Squadron page writes, I recently purchased a carton of Big's Dark Lighter X-Wings. The person I got them from works for the company that destroys damaged and returned cartons of store inventory items. He told me that there were 18 boxes labeled as SWJ0311, which is a common. If you look at the bottom of your Michael Galaxy Squadron stuff, they have like an SWJ something code at the bottom. So this is one of those. Starfighter class complete edition box set. And then on the side handwritten was SWJ0551. Looks like they were ordered as Big's Dark Lighter X-Wing, but arrived at the distribution center for a large retailer improperly labeled and sent back to the vendor as improperly filed order. The vendor then marked them for destruction and sent them all to a destruction factory. Of the 18 cases, one was rescued. That means of the one of 5,000 Big's Dark Lighter X-Wings, at least 800 were destroyed. If a Chinese manufacturer labeled them all incorrectly, there's a good chance more were destroyed across the US due to the same issue. That's speculation, by the way. It's
Right.
unknown how many were destroyed and how many survived, but it seems that nearly 20% of them were destroyed in just this area alone, which is the Washington area. I know Funko will destroy entire cartons of product if the box falls off the pallet just to make sure they don't sell damaged pops. But this
Mhm.
one is new to me. So, the common thinking, and so that's the end of his message. The common thinking is that these vehicles were intended for the vault drop because Biggs was part of the Series 4 vault drop,
Mhm.
and they never made it. So, and then so that never came to the market, the vault set of the whatever the size that the X-Wings are.
Right.
So, I have heard of companies destroying items like that, but I, I I feel like Jazzwares needs to make 800, um, 800 more of these big dark lighters and send them to other people because what this guy has done, and it's come out that there's one or two other people that got these boxes. So there's a couple people with a complete box of Big's dark lighter sets, but this guy's now selling them for $350 a pop.
Jeez. That's just another not feather in the cap, but another X to
Grievance.
grievance towards the Micro Galaxy Squadron. I am curious how often that happens, but yeah, you would think, 800 or 800 pieces, that's a lot to lose. That's a
Yeah.
lot of product to lose.
Especially when there's only 5,000. So you're just removing more from the pool.
Right, that's a quarter basically of the pool. Almost it's gone, or more than, a little a quarter. Yeah, whatever. Math, I can't math, but somebody's yelling in their car right now at me. But yeah, I
20%.
mean, it's a good chunk of that's a quarter of the stuff that's gone.
Right. It's very frustrating. This makes these, and I probably shouldn't announce this on a podcast, but this makes these the most difficult, the least amount vehicle out there.
Right.
A true chase, a true scarcity.
Hmm.
unless Jazzwares goes back and go back and print some more or make some more.
I mean, all it is a paint app, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see them doing that, but I mean, it's just like with the Sabine lightsaber, Sabine TIE fighter. Those you couldn't find them, and all of a sudden they start showing up in Ross.
Yeah.
2 years later.
But that won't happen with Biggs because they don't exist to arrive at Ross.
I wonder, if that kind of happened with the Sabine TIE fighter, where something, either the case was mislabeled or something stupid like that happened, and they disappear, and then they get found in a warehouse somewhere.
No, what I think happened was with the Sabine and with Series 2 is that Series 1 was over ordered
Uh-huh.
and it clogged the shelves. So Series 2 was never able to get to the shelves. They were stuck in a warehouse. And then finally, because they've been sitting, for example, Target warehouse for 2 years, they just said, take it, Ross, and then Ross buys it at a discount, and that's where it shows up.
Gotcha. I did. I went to Walmart. This is something, and I probably should have bought them, but when I was at Walmart today, they were working on the Legos, like organizing, and I'm like, hey, I heard rumors that the Millennium Falcon, the Black Millennium Falcon from the Lego show that they did released, um, got marked down or were being marked down. So I asked them, and it was marked down to like somebody found the marked down to like $25. And when I asked them, I said, I heard this case, are you marking them down? And they were like, no, we're not marking them down, but you want some dollar Legos? And they were Duplos. And I should have picked them up. I'm like, just to try to flip them. But yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself not to doing it. But my grandkids, they're Duplos, man. They're for little babies. And I thought it was funny that I was at the point where I could have bought a bunch of dollar Lego sets at
But
Walmart.
Duplos are compatible with Lego.
Right, but they're the baby Legos.
Yeah, what I'm saying is there's a new element of innovation and fun that they could play with if they incorporate the Duplos into the regular Lego.
Right. Well, unfortunately, he does play a little bit. If I just give him a box of Legos, he has built stuff, but I mean, he's really big into like building, following instructions. So I probably should have done it, but it's all right. I didn't really want to blow the money. I mean, even though it was like dollars, but whatever.
But
So it was just interesting to be on that side, catch it at the right time, be at
yeah,
the right place at the right time, even though I didn't want it and I didn't do it. But
but
anyhow,
but yeah, people were wondering why the excuse me, the Big's Darklighter never made it to store shelves. Well, that appears to be the case, that either they've been sold off to collectors or scalpers, or they were just destroyed.
that's a really bummer, man. That stinks. It stinks that happens because it's just like with Kelly when he found that the stuff that was unreleased or stuff that had sold out was back up for sale.
Yeah,
So
I wish I
I
had paid attention to that.
it just goes more that I think Jazzwares don't know what's going on, or their distribution stinks.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Ryan Gosling is close to signing on Sean Levy's Star Wars film, while there's a rumor Chris Pine might be eyed to play the lead in Rogue Squadron.
Okay, who's Chris Pine?
He's Captain Kirk. He was in the Wonder Woman
Okay.
movies.
Oh, okay, that dude. Yeah, he's already
Trevor,
played a fighter pilot, so why not?
so a hot shot.
Yep.
So that might be happening. George Nolfi is now writing the new Jedi Order movie. It's also known as the Rey movie. Nolfi also wrote on The Bourne Ultimatum and Ocean's 12.
Okay.
He is the fourth writer now on the Rey movie.
That movie's gonna suck if they had four writers. Because that's what happened with Solo. They had too many writers on it. I mean, unless they're just gonna scrap everything and start from scratch. When you're combining that much stuff, you're not gonna have a good movie.
It can work. I mean, sometimes when people are listed on the movie, that doesn't mean those people committed to the draft that you're seeing.
Okay.
So I could write a movie And then somebody could just like, oh, that's a good idea, and then completely write it from the start. And then the Writers Guild will give all of the credit to the first person, not the second person who actually wrote the script of the movie you're watching.
Oh, well, that would stink for the person who did the final draft.
Yeah. So it happens. But they're not allowed to talk about it either after arbitration. So you don't really know, or at least
No,
I don't know.
right. I don't know.
Anyways,
Yeah, you would know better than me because you know all that. Now you do. You would follow because you're a writer. You would follow all that stuff, and I'm just
uh,
like, it's a good movie.
and there's the case of like Tony Gilroy, who I don't know how much he wrote for Rogue One, but he's not even listed as a writer.
Right.
Anyways, James Mangold, who recently directed A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, go see the movie. He's gonna make a Star Wars film next. Anyways, I'm back. It's said to be close to finishing the script for his movie.
hmm
They say it'll be finished by this summer, and then casting will begin. It should start shooting in December. He wrote the script with the Andor writer Bo Willimnun. Willingham. He also wrote on House of Cards.
Okay.
This is supposed to be the movie that takes place 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga at the dawn of the Jedi.
Ooh, maybe we'll get some more acolyte in it.
Well, it'll be even before the High Republic,
Oh,
which sounds crazy because Lucasfilm is all about the High Republic.
right. Yeah, I was playing Fallen Order, and it was he picked something up, and it's like High Republic artifact, and you're like, okay, you're ready for this. You're all in on the High Republic.
Yeah, I don't know how to say this. I'm almost done with the game.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow. I just got the broadsword um thing. So that could tell you where I'm at. I got really frustrated because there was one part of the game where you're doing a lot of jumping. And it's probably the part that got you frustrated. And there's no save points. So you've got like 20 minutes of gameplay that you make one wrong move and you got to start all over again.
Yeah.
And it, huh?
Yeah. I'm experiencing that.
Yeah, but if you pay attention on the game, you create shortcuts so you can miss some of the harder parts. So I finally got through that, and my problem is I'm playing like 3 games right now, so I can if I get frustrated at one, I just go to the next one, and then if I get really frustrated, I just play football just play Madden just to get my brain to calm down. Which I
I
enjoy
was
doing that because I know what I'm doing in Madden versus Outlaw. I mean, I'm still enjoying Outlaws and Fallen Order. Don't get me wrong; it's just taking me forever to get through them.
uh so on Survivor, they just ported it for Xbox One. It's an Xbox X game.
Okay.
And so they just ported it, and so that's what I've been playing. I defeated one of the big main guys, and
hmm
then I walk out of the room and it completely crashed on me, the game. It's not perfect, so I had to redo it all over again, but it was such a tough battle that I just didn't have the heart
hmm
to do it that same night. So I had to leave it for a couple days and come back to it, refreshed and not bitter that the game just crashed on me. And then there's one bad guy that I just can't beat.
You could change the.
I know. I feel like
I
that's quitting. You could, so what you're saying is you can change the difficulty on the game. They
Yeah.
remind you of that at any point. Usually when you're stuck on a point, you'll
Right.
see this key message come up that says, you could switch the difficulty at any point. I'm like, thanks. Thanks. I can do this. Don't tell me to quit.
Yeah, that one part that I was stuck in, I actually need to change it back. I had lowered it one level, and it got a lot easier for me because there was this one guy that it took all my stem packs, and then next thing you know, there's 2 of that same guy that you got to face. So it was by the time you got through all 3 of those guys, you had nothing left, and then you'd get killed by a battle droid, which is easy, which takes nothing to kill. So it got very frustrating. But anywho, that's what I'm doing now. I need to actually change it back to Jedi Knight. I've changed it to Padawan or something, which is still like it's not story mode because you could put it in story mode and just blow through everything if you wanted to. Oh, what are you doing?
I shared my
Oh,
screen.
sharing the
You
screen.
can you only see the bingo, right?
Yeah. Well, I
Uh,
see. Yes, I see bingo, but I see like the whole screen for bingo. Yes.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
It's not my full screen. Like you don't see you in
No,
Zoom. Okay.
no. I see screen. I see the whatever this thing is called. Not PowerPoint, spreadsheet.
Right. So hat tip to the Mutineers. They do their annual 2025 bingo card, but it's usually all about Disney. We're stealing that from them, and we're doing one about Star Wars.
Yeah, I think I got some Disney stuff in mind too, because it's one and you know, it still involves Star Wars, but it's Disney and Star Wars. So here we go. Here's our bingo card. There's no more news. There's nothing else
No,
fun and
no,
exciting happening.
nothing we can talk about.
All right. Awesome. Cool. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first? This
I
is
don't
our
care.
20. How did we do last year on the bingo card?
We just went. Last year we only got 3 spots.
Oh, so I think I took it a little bit more serious, but I still have some that are like, oh my God.
I had
So
trouble this year coming up with wild card ones because that's really like Teak returning from the Ewok movie should have been one of those wild card things because I believe people would look at that and go, Teak's never coming back.
right. See, I
And he
didn't do
did.
anything like that, and I probably should have, but mine's more like on a collecting end of things. But
Okay.
we'll see.
Well, what's your first one?
My first one is never going to happen, but you never know. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Disney will sell Star Wars.
You will sell Star Wars, which I don't think would ever happen. I believe they're just starting to turn a profit on their $4.5 billion investment, but you never know. It's quite possible they might sell something off.
Right. I mean, it could be anything with Star Wars, but yeah, but I mean, it needs to be like a major component of Star Wars, not like, oh, they sold the video games, which I think they sell the video game license all the time, right?
Yeah. My next one is that Yoda will be revealed as a relative, a great great grandfather of Grogu.
That I think would happen. Yeah, my wife, we were talking the other day and she goes, "What species is Yoda?" I'm like, "That's the only that's the only character we have no clue. That's been kept a secret forever, and I don't think we're ever going to know what species he is."
Yeah, I believe that's part of the contract that George said you can never do this if I sell you this property,
Mhm.
and it's revealing Yoda's backstory.
Okay, so here's one. It's kind of a double, but I put HasLab will shut down, or we will get no more Star Wars items. So do you want to, or I think how should we?
HasLab will shut down Star Wars,
There we go. HasLab will shut down the Star Wars.
which is funny because I have the opposite here, but we'll continue. I was like, what can I do that is completely left field and something I never think would happen?
Uh-huh.
I went with Jackson will return.
There you go.
The green bunny will make an appearance somewhere in the background of something, maybe Andor, maybe not, maybe a trailer for Mando and Grogu, which will probably be released in Celebration.
Yeah. So, and then I've got something else. This is another HasLab, but we could,
All movie.
so, yeah, put it somewhere else. HasLab will release a figure only set.
That's not a bad idea. I think they should do that with a Black Series set. Like the deep cuts, the things that they're just not going to release at retail, they can sell for 30, $40. Like I don't know, and they could be quality like your Four Horsemen stuff. Like
Hmm.
there's so much they can do with the Black Series HasLab, but maybe it's just not profitable. Instead of making millions, they only make 1 million.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I think you've been calling for, or since the beginning, since for the 4 years that we've been doing this show.
Yeah.
You, they would it makes too much sense.
Oh man, I'm typing and I wish I because I'm not going to spell his name right. Alden Ehrenreich will return. I got two returns. Jackson will return. Alden will return as Han Solo.
I would be down for that. Because I mean, it's basically a recast of Han Solo. I mean, they already recast him, but yeah, he needs to come back. He did a good job, I think. And I keep arguing that it wasn't his fault that Solo failed, and that's what they put it all on his shoulders.
Right.
Um, we will get a new line of figures.
A new scale
Um,
or a new line?
a new line. Either it's going to be something that could. I don't really say a new scale, but I think we'll get maybe like a Four Horsemen style or a. We're either going to. We've already got the cheaper stuff, but I think they're going to release like Four Horsemen style Star Wars. Okay, you 8-inch line.
Isn't that what Four Horsemen in?
Four
Like, aren't
Horsemen,
they?
they're, yeah, yeah, might as well call them 8-inch. Yeah,
Is it? I'll do 8 inch slash high quality line.
yeah, there you go.
Something in between Black Series and Hot Toys. Oh, the return of the Hyper Reel.
Hyperreal was crap though, wasn't it? Or it just didn't do good.
It didn't do good. It ended up with Ross, but I do believe it was just a ploy to prevent another toy company from getting a scale.
Well, also Hyperreal was like ultra expensive too. They were like $100 a figure, right?
Yeah, but I got them for like 40 or $50 at
Right. I think, yeah,
Ollie's. Maybe we'll get a high quality line,
yeah.
a collector line. I don't know. And then my next one, I gotta pull it up. Sorry.
You got too much stuff going on. I did mine old school, pad and
Oh.
paper.
I said that Jazzwares will announce a new addition to the line, and I just
Mhm,
went with creatures, but it could be like play sets. Um, I think they might try to elevate or go to the next step
mhm.
of collecting, so we'll see.
Okay. Mine kind of goes and what I just said with the new line. I think TVC will end.
UVC will end. Okay, we'll see.
We'll see. You got to throw all the
You have
spaghetti on
to.
the wall and see what sticks, right?
Yep. I put that the Galactic Star Cruiser will become or be announced as just a restaurant.
Okay. I wanted to kind of stay away from stuff we kind of did last year, but yes, I can see the something. Yeah, because we
Because
had
then
something.
it's not closed, it's not the hotel anymore, it's just a restaurant.
Mhm.
I don't know. Something has to happen with that thing, and I'm
It,
frustrated that nothing was announced last year. So I'm hoping at Celebration they'll step on stage and be like, "And ladies and gentlemen, we have a big announcement for you. Star Cruiser restaurant."
yes, dinner and a show, which hey, I'd be down for as long as I didn't have to buy Disney tickets. As long, I didn't have to buy Disney tickets to get into the Star
Yeah.
Cruiser.
What
This
what
is
you get?
one I think this is a an easy one. Kathleen Kennedy will retire.
I almost put that down, but I, I mean, you could do. I don't know if that would be on my bucket list because next year, if she doesn't retire this year, it'd be like she retires next year, and like you can have that any year, and at some point, that's definitely going to be 100% happening.
Right.
That's the point of all that rambling, is that it's definitely
Exactly.
going to happen at some point. We just don't know when.
Exactly. So it's sort of that's an easy one, a layup. Let's see if it'll happen this year.
I think, and maybe this is more of a prediction than a wild card thing, because I think that's the whole point of these bingo cards. It's like I didn't have that on my bingo card because it's so wild and out of
Mhm.
left field. But I couldn't figure anything out in left field, so most of my stuff are closer to home base.
Okay. I'm just happy I came up with like 13 or 12 things to put on a bingo card, truthfully.
I think a TBC HasLab vehicle will be announced,
Okay.
because I don't think they're going to go back to playsets because the vehicles seem to sell better than the playsets. I don't think a
Mhm.
Cantina Black Series, I think they'll still stay away from that. But I do think a TBC HasLab vehicle will be announced in
Mm.
2025.
All right. Um, I think we're gonna get a new Star Wars fighting game. You remember the game back in like the 90s or the
Yeah, I
I
want
don't
to
know
say
what it, huh?
it's not Quinlan Voss, but it's like Tora Kasi or something like that.
Yeah, like a la Mortal Kombat, whatever that game was we had back in the 90s. We're gonna get a Star Wars fighting game where it'll be Mortal Kombat style fighting game.
Yeah. And then conversely, I think that's the next one here. I said a Star Wars game will be canceled. And I wanted to say at Celebration, a Star Wars game would be announced and then immediately canceled 3 months later. So we have both on the spectrum here,
All
both
right,
sides of
cool.
that spectrum.
Yes. Um, I think Disney's gonna announce they're gonna start doing Star Wars Days at Sea again for their cruise line. DVC. Yeah.
Okay, Star Wars Days at Sea. Yeah,
Will come back.
I would
Or
love to add to this that they Star Wars weekends will come back.
that was my next one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
All right, hold on. Let me go with my next one, and then I'll write that, and then we can talk about it.
right. But you gotta be specific. I mean, we'll talk. You do yours, and we'll go back to mine.
Oh, I should be more specific then
No,
with
no,
my
no,
next
no,
one
no.
because
With the where we're going next. You announce yours because they announce yours, and then we'll finish with mine.
I said a new show will be announced at Celebration, and I mean like a new show like Skeleton Crew, not like Skeleton Crew season two. Not something we've seen before, but I think hopefully Lucasfilm will feel emboldened by what's happened, and
Mhm.
we might get like a whole left field, you know, droids show, something that has nothing to do
Ooh,
with anything that came before, similarly to Skeleton Crew.
that may be fun. All right, so when I Star Wars, okay, so this is why I say Star Wars Days, and we need to be specific because they already doing Star Wars Days at Disneyland or a version of Star Wars Days at Disneyland. I put Magic Kingdom,
Hollywood Studios, I think,
Hollywood
yeah.
Studios, yeah,
But yeah,
to the East Coast.
yeah. I mean, I would love Star Wars weekends to return. It was great to go down there and see stars of the film and listen to them talk. That's where I saw Jake Lloyd, but I never got his autograph, which I should have. Um, and yeah, it would be great to go back and just roam around Hollywood studios and have all those characters dressed up and
Hmm.
some.
Yeah, I would love doing that. I think it would be great to do that. I think the closest thing that we would is if we would have done Star Wars Day the at Celebration the Star Wars night because they do it all the time at Disneyland, but they don't do it on the East Coast. Doggone
I said my next one, John Favreau will be announced as the president of Lucasfilm.
it. I
I
would go
want,
Dave Filoni before I do John Favreau, but yeah, why not? Let's do it.
I mean, I want to do something really left field, like Seth Rogen will be announced president of Lucasfilm. Because I didn't have that on my bingo card. I never would have thought Seth Rogen could run a movie studio.
Yeah. This one, and we've got to kind of get I think someone we personally know, or maybe not personally know, but that we know very well, will sell their Star Wars collection and get out of collecting.
I can spell. Like who?
Um, I I would say like somebody like Narayan or Gus Lopez or like that level.
Okay.
But Gus is what Gus doesn't count because they're doing a saga collection. But I'm talking like that level of collector,
Okay.
like a big time, because they just did the Hanks auction, the Jeff Jacobs auction, but we don't know him. I'm talking like somebody personally we know and have a relationship with will get out of collecting.
I was gonna put, yeah, okay, that's probably gonna happen. I see, yeah, okay,
You know what I mean? Somebody that we have a personal relationship with will sell the collection in the this year.
yeah. I had a Ewok movie announced at Celebration, like a third Battle of Endor kind of Caravan of Courage situation there.
Mhm.
But I'm wondering if I should do something else other than like an Ewok movie. Is there something specific that might get a spin-off movie that's maybe just a Disney Plus thing?
I think Ewoks would work. Ewok movie slash TV show. Then you're covering both bases.
Um, movie or TV show. Okay. I don't know. I wish these were funnier. I wish I could do something
It
like,
should have, dude. Yeah, like I said, I was just happy to get stuff to write it down to get it.
I mean, this is
Um,
not the year for it, but like a Porg does a Purdue chicken crossover where you instead of buying a mini chicken, you can buy a mini Porg or something like
oh my
that.
gosh, that would have been the ultimate crossover whenever the prequel trilogy or whatever. No,
On the
Whatever.
package, it says, "This is not a porg. This is a chicken." Legally, we have to say that it's not a porg, but for all intents and purposes, enjoy your porg.
Yeah, you have Chewie going, "Rrr." Yeah, oh my God, somebody needs to get fired for not thinking of that, Jason.
Yep, they didn't.
Um, and this one maybe one that, I think there will be no, uh, I'm trying to think how to word this. Either no celebration in 26 or no stateside celebration in 26,
2026.
which that
Yeah,
may be just stupid. I don't, that's me grasping at straws for stuff.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I put the 2020 celebration will be in 2027 celebration will be announced, but decided not to go with that one.
Yeah. I just, I couldn't come up with anything else. So I've got one more, but yeah.
I put Darth Vader movie will be announced at Celebration because he
Ooh.
is the face of the brand. He's the most recognizable character, and they haven't done much with him. So some sort of Darth Vader movie will be announced. I don't know if it's a Disney Plus or if it's the latest movie that some hot, fresh director in Hollywood's working on,
Mm.
but possibly.
You did a lot of movies on
I
yours.
did. I got lazy at the end there. I
Well,
couldn't think of any crossovers.
I'm glad to think that you got lazy too. So I've thought about it, man. I really did. Okay, so this is my last one. I think Heir to the Empire will start filming, or the Dave Filoni, whatever the big Dave Filoni, call it Heir to the Empire,
Will be what?
start filming.
Okay. Well, Heir to the Empire will start filming.
Yes.
I mean, technically, if Filoni says that at Celebration, like, I've started working on it and I filmed a couple scenes.
Yeah, I think it'll film, be announced, something. It'll get rolling this year.
Maybe, who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do better on this bingo card than we did last year.
I think we'll do worse.
Hey, it's better than the mutineers going, something will catch fire.
Oh, we should have put that down. Something will catch on fire. Maybe Anakin. I don't know. Anything else?
No, that's my last. You said 12. I did 12.
Yep, that's it.
You got one more. We got an
Oh,
open space.
shoot. It was going to be the 2027 celebration would be announced, but you've done that there's no stateside and no celebration in 2026. So I don't want to
Right.
do that again.
Do call it out. Where do you think it's going to be? 2027 will be where? Anaheim or
Anaheim,
Orlando?
Anaheim, either Anaheim or like Houston, something in the middle of the country, Denver.
Just
I don't
call
think.
it call a city out. 2027 will be in Denver or something crazy like that.
Okay. 2027 celebration in Denver.
Where did they have it? Where was the first celebration?
Wasn't it? It was Denver, and then the second two were Indianapolis.
Okay.
And then they started bouncing back and forth. Stateside, they started bouncing back and forth between Orlando and California, Anaheim.
But yeah, I
With
still want to see 27 in Orlando, but I think it's going to be Anaheim.
I do too. I mean, that'd be more convenient, but for the guest's sake, I think they're going to do one in Anaheim
Yeah, because
to get the.
they're getting frustrated having to probably enjoying the free trips abroad, but they are probably getting frustrated with that too.
Yeah. So, and I was going to mention that there was a, Chicago celebration in there too, but I don't think that's going to happen again.
No, I think the Chicago celebration was the same thing that happened with the Anaheim celebration, where they went, "Oh crap, we need a place to have celebration," and they found Chicago at the last minute.
Yeah, like there was rumors that 2022 was supposed to be in Orlando
I think so.
because the 2021 was supposed to happen, didn't happen, got delayed to 2022 in Anaheim, but there was supposed to be one in Orlando in 2022. So I'm just kind of shocked that nothing has been announced. And then there'll be like a 5-year gap between celebrations in the States,
Yeah,
between
which that stinks for
2022 and
us.
7, if that happens.
I mean, from truthfully, that's what I think happened was because the way that Anaheim celebration kind of felt rushed. And I think it was, oh crap, we already have all the we have it all labeled, and we've not labeled, but we have everything set up, and we have a contract, and we have to put it on. So let's just put it on.
Yeah.
So there's our bingo card.
Bigrogu. Grogu was his name. Oh,
Oh, yay.
clap, clap. I have to say the clap because I can't do it because Zoom cancels the audio.
Zoom will mute it. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get some right. I doubt we will, but we will see.
We will see. Anything else?
I don't think so. Anything else fun and exciting happening in the world of Star Wars that is, yeah, that face is just like, eh. It's
Not
like,
really.
no, there's not.
Billions of dollars were sold and the Jeff Jacobs thing, so a lot of prices are going up, and everyone's like, "Oh, look at the price of this! Oh, look at the price of that! Oh, look!"
Yeah, I've been selling some pieces here and there just to kind of help pay for stuff, and it's been stuff that you buy and you're like, I'm never going to complete this run, so you sell it off. And I've been happy to make because I bought a lot of stuff during the pandemic at the height, and I've been happy to make my money back. But then I'll see like stuff go in Deal or No Deal for like $100 more than I paid for it, So it's kind of frustrating a little bit because you were just like, oh, I made my money back, sold. So I don't know if prices are gonna go up, or are they gonna go down? Prices right now do kind of seem a little crazy. I didn't look at that Jeff Jacobs stuff, but yeah, I know he made $1.5 million selling his stuff. And I have a friend that does Transformers, and there was some Transformer stuff in there, and he said that the Transformer prices were crazy for that collection.
Well, maybe they're not crazy anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're not.
I mean, Jordan loves the Transformers.
Right.
And Jordan's not going to be paying thousands of dollars for Transformers, but
yeah, Jordan likes modern Transformers. He does, or he does the OG Transformers. I don't know. Maybe he's not as crazy as my buddy is.
maybe.
Yeah, but it is amazing that the differences between like AFA Transformers and AFA Star Wars, because like a 75 in Star Wars is crap, but a 75 in Transformers is like, oh, that's like a 90 in Star Wars.
Is it impossible to get a 10 or a 100 or an A plus on any Star Wars stuff?
I've seen 90s. I've gotten a 90 on stuff, modern stuff, but I've never seen 100. I've never seen anything higher. I think I may have seen 95s. But I doubt you can ever get 100 because they're pretty picky.
What would 100 be?
It'd be perfect. I mean, it would have to be nothing's ever going to be, I think, 100% perfect, because there's always going to be something wrong with the figure.
Oh, so even if it comes fresh from the toy line, out of the mold, out of being painted, and goes directly into AFA, there's a chance that it'll still get a 95.
Yeah, and I don't think it would ever. I don't.
There's a chance it'll get an 80.
Right, because they will look at that figure. I had a C3PO, beautiful C3PO that graded an 80, and I called them out on it, and they go, "Oh, there's a vein in the back of its leg, so that's why we graded it an 80, not an 85."
But it's all subjective.
Yeah, it all depends on the day that the person's having. I've had stuff come back that the guy must have been having a good day because came back in 85. I've got a Boba Fett that came back in 85, and I was like, holy smokes. Because it is. I mean, he was a beautiful Fett, a beautiful Fett, and the only reason I graded it was because it was a Taiwan Fett with the right blaster, and the blaster is like was in like $150, $200 range. And I'm like, I got to keep these things together because I don't want to lose a $200 blaster.
The system seems rigged.
Yeah,
What if I wanted to pay someone, hey, look at that again. Isn't that a 95? Isn't that a 90?
I assume you could. I don't know. I don't want to put, I mean, we know people at AFA. I don't want to talk bad about them like that. I mean, I know that
Let's just say grading company, because it could be anyone. It couldn't, it's
right.
not just necessarily AFA.
Right. I mean, and that's why you have people that poo-poo on CAS because CAS will grade a few points higher. They tend to grade higher than AFA or not be as picky. So people have always said an 80 or an 85 or a 90 at CAS is like an 85 or an 80 AFA,
Yeah.
which I don't grade. I grade to um archive stuff. I don't grade to make money. You know, because like I said, I graded that FET because I didn't want to lose the blaster. It was worth the $80 or $40 to $50 to me just to make sure that those pieces stayed together. And it looks cool, but I don't get all caught up in grading. I know my buddy that does Transformers, he does because everything he does is AFA graded. And you know, it's a more, I think it's more of archiving and making sure things are correct more than a number.
To each their own.
Yeah. I don't want to talk, you know, and it's a very slippery slope, and I do see people that crack open stuff that's graded, and I'm just like, why did you do that? You just spent all that money to buy something graded, and you're ruining your investment.
Yeah. That would suck.
Yeah. What did you pull off your 3D printer, Jason?
Oh, I've got Cad Bane.
Ooh,
Hold on. It's not really Cad Bane.
Jason's looking in the back. What is he
I'll tell
getting?
this story real quick.
Okay.
So, can you see the
Yeah.
Duros? The Duros. It's not Cad Bane, but there's a friend up north who's a 3D printer too, and
Uh-huh.
he was part of this subscription thing and got a lot of these files for like Walrus Man that I'm printing.
Hmm.
Maybe this is just an ethical thing. It was a subscription. You pay every month, and every month you get a new sculpt. He never printed it, so he gave it to me to print. So
Cool.
I printed it, and then I was like, "Oh, that's cool." So I posted on my Facebook thing, and then I was going to be like, I decided to subscribe to, so that I could start getting the files and I could start printing it and I could support them.
Right.
Well, he saw that on Facebook. I had posted a picture on my profile of one of these files, one of his files, and he got all pissy, and it was just like, "You can't do that." I'm like, "Well, dude, I mean, technically, it's not, first of all, it's not stealing because somebody paid for it and it was printed
Right.
once. The service was done. Secondly, are you paying Lucasfilm? Don't get all high and mighty that someone stole your property when you're stealing someone else's property."
Right.
Anyways, he had a Duros. And so I found this site, and obviously I got kicked out because he wouldn't let me in because I had
So he
used some.
he kicked you off of his subscription?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he kicked me off. Anyways, so I found this website. It's an AI website where it'll make 3D models based on an image,
Hmm.
which sucks because I was willing to pay for this stuff,
Right.
pay an artist for this stuff, and he said no. So I found a site. I was able to upload the Duros, and which is the blue Cantina Cad Bane looking guys. It made a 3D model based on the photo, and it's pretty accurate because I was looking at this thing. The only thing I had to change was the back of the head was a little too long.
Uh-huh.
I did look at photos, and I was like, if a human had to wear it, it would be the size of a human head. So I
Yeah.
made a couple changes to it, but for the most part, it's based on. And yeah, like this is a case of AI replacing what humans did.
That's crazy. And I remember you telling me the story, and it's not like it was a lot of money a month. It was only a few dollars a month too, right?
Like $12 a month.
I mean, yeah, that's not worth it. It wasn't even worth $12 for him to have the conversation with you about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
mean, it was. I think personally, it'd be one thing if he's not called you out, but just said, "Hey, is that one of my things?" And then, "Hey, where'd you
he
get it
did.
from?" And but not be a dingbat about it. You know, don't be a douchebag about it. Just be like, "Oh, cool, you got it from somebody, and oh, that's awesome. It looks great." And then you go about your day. Don't call somebody out and then kick them out when you're willing to give them the $12 a month.
Yeah, here, take my money, sir. Like we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't posted it to the free, websites. We didn't try to charge for it. Post your files up on a site that charges for 3D files.
Hmm.
You know, it was just like, I haven't printed this, you print it, and we'll paint it.
Right. That's just a pardon my French. People with kids in the car. 3, 2, 1. Dick move.
I mean, the kids' ears are earmuffed. You can do something a little bit more than that word.
Right. But yeah, that's just a dick move by that dude because it's not worth. I don't know when it I always kind of look at things and I'm like, is it worth my time? You know, I get paid X number of dollars an hour. Is it worth that much time for me to deal with? You know what I mean? Where's my time? And if it's not worth my X number of dollars an hour to deal with it, I just don't deal with it. And you let it skirt.
Let it skirt.
Yep. That was ridiculous. But anyway,
Yeah.
don't steal. But I'm also like, and then, you know, I've had a buddy that, you know, he's a musician and I've looked at some art and he's like, just print it, just send it to a printer. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. You know, that to me is wrong. You know, because we've had the same conversation with the Christian art because you bought a phone case that had some of his art on it, not knowing, you know, and it's like it's a Japanese or Chinese copy.
Yeah, this week I sent you a tattoo of Boba Fett with Cad Bane in the reflection. Somebody had a
Yeah.
tattoo done. I sent it to you, and you're like, "That's my guy in Orlando." I'm like, "All right, that's not the point. Like, is this somebody ripping off Christian's art because it's Christian style?"
Right, I got you. Oh, that's what you were doing. Let me look at
Yeah.
that again. I don't think it's and I don't think it's ripping off Christian's art in where's Instagram? Oh, fudge. Um,
Oh well.
oh well. No, I don't think that's him ripping off Christian's art because I've talked to Christian about it, and I mean, and it's not even a piece of his art. It's just that style. I think it might be something he's working on. Um, but I don't think that's necessarily ripping off, you know, Christian's art. And it's weird because it's a tattoo. You know, it's one of those. It's not like I have, you know, something fake hanging on my wall. You know what I mean? Because Christian couldn't do that tattoo, but he
Yeah.
can get me a print. I can buy a print of it from Christian versus, you know what I'm saying? It's a gray area, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with somebody getting a tattoo of an artist of somebody's art
Style.
style or whatever. You know, if I would love to get some of Christian's art tattooed on me. I just haven't done it yet. But then if I did it, I would definitely give him props because it was his art that I got tattooed on me.
You get an eye tattooed?
An eye.
Yeah, so maybe you can get like Sabine in your eye. So like any time
Yeah, there
someone
you
looks at
go.
you, they're seeing the reflection of Sabine in your eye, like
Yeah.
Christian's art.
Well, that's why. Yeah. Well, that's why I got the Sabine lightsaber because I have already got so much freaking I've got 3 Boba Fett tattoos. I didn't need another Mandalorian. You know, people would be like, "How many Mandalorians you got on you?" So that's why I did the lightsaber versus a helmet. But I still want a Sabine helmet, which would be. I'm looking at 2 of his pieces of art right now, and it'd be badass to get those tattooed on me with Sabine.
Well,
Anyway.
thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. It really helps us out and points people to our show. You can follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback and we love to make you part of our show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People, collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collective community. This is the way.
This is the way.